Hi everyone, welcome back. We're going to continue working on our factoring foldable today. So again, here's the factoring foldable. Last video we did greatest common factor. So today we're going to look at factoring by grouping, okay? So factoring by grouping is super helpful, but it's only helpful in one situation. So on the top of, see how I did it on the top of the page before? I want you guys to write down that this only works, so only works for 4 terms. Meaning, this guy only works if you have 4 terms. So just as an example, this is what I did, okay, just to show you kind of how I wrote it on the top of the previous page. So if I have 3 terms, I can't factor by grouping. If I have 2 terms, I can't factor by grouping. If I have 5 terms, I can't factor by grouping, okay? So the goal here when we're factoring by grouping is to get the same terms inside each parenthesis that I have, okay? And so the method is, step 1 is to take out the greatest common factor of the first 2 terms, and then to take out the greatest common factor of the last 2 terms, and then we're going to write this as 2 parentheses. So we're going to do 2 examples here. You guys have seen this before, it just might have been a while. So my first example is x squared plus 3x minus 4x minus 12. So I have 4 terms, right? And so because I have 4 terms, I can factor by grouping. So I'm going to group these first 2 terms together and these last 2 terms together. So what we're looking at here is I'm going to ignore these 2 terms and I'm only going to look at x squared plus 3x. And I need to ask myself, what is the greatest common factor? Well, there's a 1 here, so between 1 and 3, there's no greatest common factor besides 1, right? But I do have 1x in each term, right? I have 2 x's here, 1x here, so I have 1 in each term. So I can take out 1x, and I'm left with 1x plus 3. So I've taken out the greatest common factor of the first 2 terms, and that's my first step here. Second step is to take out the greatest common factor of the last 2 terms. So here I have negative 4x and negative 12. If this number is a negative, you're probably going to want to take out a negative. So I'm going to go ahead and take that out too. Okay, and then I know that 4 goes into both 4 and 12, so I'm going to take out a negative 4. Well, negative 4 divided by negative 4 is just positive 1, so I'm left with positive 1x, or just x. Negative 12 divided by negative 4 is positive 3, so just make sure that you're being really careful with signs, okay? And this is what I want. So I need the terms inside my parentheses to be the same, right? X plus 3, x plus 3. They are not the same if you go through this process and you get x plus 3, x minus 6, then you've probably done something wrong and you need to go back and check. All right, but in this case, x plus 3, x plus 3. So I get to write this as 2 separate parentheses. One of the parentheses is going to be this x plus 3. Automatic. I only have to write it once. I don't have to write it twice. So one of my parentheses is x plus 3. The other parentheses are the 2 terms that are outside. So here I have an x, and here I have a minus 4. And there it is. It's factored. Okay, and that's it. So again, your goal is to get these terms inside the parentheses to be the same. Let's look at example 2 here, which is xy minus x minus a plus ay. So here I don't have numbers, but that's okay. It's still 4 terms. So I can still factor by grouping. I'm going to group the first two terms together and the second two terms together. So in these first two terms, the only thing that I have common is an x. So I'm going to take out an x. I'm left with a y. And negative x divided by x is negative 1. So y minus 1. Okay, here I have a negative a, but then a positive ay. So I'm going to take out an a, right, because I have an a in both. And I'm left with negative 1 plus y. So looking at this, it doesn't look like my parentheses are equal, right? But if we dig deeper, right, this is y minus 1, this is negative 1 plus y. It's like, well, that's not the same. But if we dig deeper, here I have a positive y, here I have a positive y, and here I have a negative 1, and here I have a negative 1. So even though they don't look the same, they are actually the same. So one of my parentheses is going to be one of those, and I'm going to write the one that's in the correct order as y minus 1. And then the other parenthesis is going to be my two terms that I have taken out. So there's going to be a positive x and a positive a. And that's it. Again, if you want to check your work, all you have to do is distribute this back out, right? So if I distribute this top one back out, I get x squared minus 4x plus 3x minus 12, which is what I started with, just the x's were switched, but it's the same thing, right? Same thing here. If I were to multiply this back out, I would get xy minus x plus, oh, sorry, nope, minus, my bad. There we go, minus a minus ay. Sorry, plus ay. It's a negative, negative. Okay, so I get what I started with. Why is that not? Oh no, sorry, that's right, plus ay, yeah, okay. And I don't really need to do that part, but that's just if you're not feeling confident, at least you know that you can go back and check your skills. Okay. That's all we're going to do for notes on factoring by grouping. All it is taking the greatest common factor of the first two terms, the greatest common factor of the second two terms, and then writing it into parentheses. If you have any questions on this or if you need extra help, just make sure that you reach out and let me know. We're going to look at factoring trinomials, so 3 terms, when a is 1, and that's going to be our next video.